Well, hello everybody. Hope we're doing well. This is sunny outside and just thought I would bring to you a little bit more joy for the week or the weekend. Um, so I'll try to get this posted soon. So this is a Friday, the 1st of May, but it may be till tomorrow before it gets on. So whatever day it is, I hope you're just doing really well. I hope the weather this weekend is really nice so we can get out and just enjoy some weather. So we're just going to start sitting up nice and tall, just starting with a breath here first. Just taking a deep inhale, opening up through the rib cage, and as you exhale, just kind of sink into the sits bones here. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed into the lap as well. Let's just do that a couple more times, just opening up through the rib cage. And as you exhale, just let the rib cage relax there. We're not pulling the abdominals together quite yet. Just trying to catch our breath here and just find a nice, just breathing pattern. Maybe slowing down the heart rate if it's up a little. For some reason mine's up a little bit, so just really good for me just to take a couple deep breaths in and out. Maybe it's from having kids at home trying to get all their last minute schooling done. JMU's a student with JMU, so he is finishing up this week and finals are next week. So very different having him home, but we have enjoyed having him here. Let's do that one more time. Now, let's find the rib cage connection. So what I usually do is just put my hands on my rib cage. I just like to start with just really finding that connection before we do anything else. And I always say fill up the belly with air like as if it were a balloon. So you'll just take that deep inhale. And you're expanding. And then as you're exhaling, the rib cage is coming towards the center of the body. Pull that belly button in towards the spine and up towards the heart. Feeling nice and tall. From the tailbone up to the top of your head, you're really lengthening through that as you're sitting here. Finding that deep inhale and that nice long exhale. Holding that rib cage together. Pulling the belly button in towards the spine, up towards the heart. Let's do that 2 more times. And exhale. And one more. Now I'm just going to turn to the side. We're going to put our feet out in front. This is comfortable for you. I just want you to sit on your sits bones here. I just want to add a little bit of movement with the legs. And as our legs come back together, I want you to think about the inner thighs working really hard to do this. So take an inhale. Open up through the rib cage. Just let the knees kind of fall out to the side. And as you exhale, I want you to pull the abdominals together, pull the pelvic floor up, pull those knees back into the center. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, come all the way back together. Just trying to find ways to get everything activated here. We can also think about our serratus. For those of you who I work with often, we talk a lot about our serratus muscle, which wraps around from the back, right underneath the shoulder blade, around to the front. It's a nice little oblique muscle. Pulls the shoulder blade down in the back, takes stress off my traps. Let's do that 2 more times. Pull those abdominals, the pelvic floor, inner thighs connect a little bit deeper, and one more. Now just hold the knees there, hands behind the knees. Let's just go into a nice little pelvic curl here, into a nice little C-spine. So take an inhale, open up through the rib cage. And as you exhale, I want you to press that lower back into that imaginary wall behind you. Just a nice little C curve. It may not feel like a big movement. It's not really. You're trying to keep the shoulders over top of the hips. And then stack the spine tall again. And exhale to tuck. And inhale back up. And exhale to tuck. Inhale in. Now we're going to go back a little bit further. So take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to curl through, lower back behind you just slightly, just to get those arms along there. Inhale here and then exhale, round it back in. Shoulders over hips, stack the spine nice and tall. Exhale, curl through, lower that back into the imaginary wall, then lower yourself back just a little bit, get those abdominals engaged a little bit deeper, and then round yourself back in, and stack it back up. And exhale, curl. Inhale at the back, exhale, round it back in. And last one. Inhale at the back, exhale, round it back in, stack the spine nice and tall. We're going to roll all the way back down onto the mat. I'm actually going to turn myself around today. I always turn that way, so I'm going to try something different today. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, curl through, help yourself down. If you need to, you can kind of lift the feet up off the floor. And then get yourself all the way situated onto the floor. Your hands are going to be down by your side, knees up towards the ceiling. And your neck in line with your spine here. If it feels good, you can rock your head back and forth or side to side in a way that just kind of releases any tension from the shoulders. So we're going to add some release of the tension there in just a moment. But before we do, I just want you to kind of melt into the floor. Hopefully your feet are nice and even. Sometimes I just bring my feet together if I'm by myself and I don't have somebody to look at my feet. And then I try to take them out about 6 bones distance apart by just walking them back out to the side. I want to think, do I have that little pocket of air behind my lower back? I would say the majority of us have that. If you've had any problems with your lower back or it's fused together, that may be different how you feel this. But the main thing is that your hips are kind of flat on the floor. So your hip bones and your pelvic bone are all on the same plane there. The sacrum's just flat. Let's just start with some arm movements. So reach the arms up towards the ceiling. I just want you to let the shoulder blades relax down into the floor first. And then as you inhale, I want you to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then melt those shoulder blades back down. And again, inhale, reach it up. And an exhale to melt. Inhale, reach. And an exhale to melt. And last one. And exhale to melt. Now, just going to let the arms float out to a T position. Your fingertips will be up slightly up off the floor so that you can open up your wrist here. So let the fingertips drop to the floor, open the wrist. You may feel some nice little tingling going on there. It may not feel lovely, but now bring the fingertips back, activate those arms and bring them back up to the top. And then open that again. And then let the fingertips float to the floor, opening up through the wrist. Bring the fingertips back. And exhale, activate those arms and bring them back up to the ceiling. Inhale, open. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Wrist open up there. Bring the fingertips back. And back up towards the ceiling. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, let the fingertips float down towards the floor, opening up through the wrist. Bring the fingertips back. Reach back up towards the ceiling. Let's go to the shoulders one more time. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, melt the shoulder blades down. Inhale, open the arms out to a T. Let the arms just be on the floor there. Let's go ahead and glue the knees and the feet together. And we're just going to twist back and forth, just getting a little bit of a spine twist here, allowing that lower back to get a little movement in the spine. Try to keep the shoulders down as you do this. Just go as far as you feel comfortable going. We're going to keep it in active movement right now, and just going back and forth. Let's do one more to each side. Last one. And then come back to the center. Separate the feet again. Bring the arms back up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders down here. Make sure you have enough room behind you to lay your arms onto the mat once we get up to the top. So I usually try to evaluate that before I start moving. So take an inhale, open up through the rib cage. As you exhale, first start with that rib cage connection, pulling it together. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. And again, inhale, open it all up. And exhale, bring it all together. Once we feel like we have that connection, we're going to start a little movement with just tucking into that imprint. So you open it all up. And as you exhale, let that lower back go into that imprinted spine. Let the pelvic bone reach towards the ceiling just slightly. And then inhale, release back out into neutral. Do that 2 more times like that. Exhale, tuck into an imprint. Inhale, release back to neutral. Exhale, tuck into an imprint. Hold it here through an inhale. Now, are our legs still activated? They're not necessarily pressing together, but I want you to think about those inner thighs working here and activated as well. And then you're going to slowly lift the hips up and roll yourself all the way up onto the shoulders. Once you get to the top, if you notice, sometimes I lift my head a little and lay it back down. That just gives me a little bit more length there. Then we're going to let the arms float back behind you onto the floor. And then you're going to articulate the spine back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Try to come back into that imprint first and then neutral. And then reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Keeping that spine nice and mobile as we're doing this. That's why the peeling is really good. Trying to create space between the vertebrae as we move through that. If that is not an option for you because flexion is not okay for you, feel free just to lower the hips and lift the hips back. And up and down. And then reach the arms back. And exhale, tuck in, round it up. And let them float behind you. Now we're going to add a little bit of fun to this. So we're going to do a little combo of this move that we're just doing now. Once we get down to the bottom, the arms will just float up off the floor just so that we are still in neutral position. Start reaching the arms up towards the ceiling as we tuck the chin in, lift the head, neck, and shoulders up into that nice little chest lift. And then inhale, lower it all the way back down. Now the arms will just go straight to the ceiling as we lower down. We'll roll it back up into that bridge. We'll let the arms float onto the mat behind us. We'll articulate the spine back down. Now this move of the chest lift comes from those upper abdominals. So start reaching the arms up, tuck the chin in, pull the serratus muscle, get those scapula stabilized. Find those upper abdominals, lift yourself all the way up. And then lower yourself all the way back down. Keep the arms to the ceiling, roll it back up. Let the arms float behind you. And exhale, roll back down. I feel like I'm walking on my mat a little bit, getting closer to the wall. Reach the arms up, tuck the chin in, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. And inhale, lower all the way back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Tuck and round it up. Let the arms float behind you. Articulate down through the spine. Arms reach to the ceiling as you lift the head, neck, and shoulders. getting those abdominals a little bit warmed up as you get here. Are you still are you in imprint or are you neutral with your lower back? Try to come out to neutral once you get up to the top. And then lower that back down. It just makes those abdominals work a little bit harder. And last one, you're going to roll it up. Let the arms float back behind you onto the floor. And we're going to roll it all the way down. And this time we're just going to keep the arms there. We're going to glue the knees together. We're just going to take a nice little twist. And this time we are just going to lay here. I want you to feel a stretch from your fingertips all the way down the knees. Whole side of the body there. Take deep breaths in and out. And for myself, it's a little hard to breathe here sometimes, especially to get that full inhale. Or if you have a hard time relaxing, which is something I have a hard time doing. I'm trying to let my shoulder blade on my left side kind of relax a little bit more, but really feel like I'm pulling from my right hand all the way down that right side into that right hip, down to the right knee. And then bring the knees back up to the center. Let's go ahead and set up one more time to do the other side, arms to the ceiling. Tuck and round it up. Let the arms melt behind you onto the floor. Articulate the spine back down. Then we'll go to the other side. So again, just let the knees drop over there. Take that little stretch, or a big stretch. I feel like it's a big stretch actually. And that nice active breathing, taking a deep inhale and a nice long exhale. And we'll do that one more breath. And then bring those knees back up to the center, reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. We're going to go into some supine twists today. I'm going to keep my arms up towards the ceiling. If at any point you want to just lay them down, but I want to start, if you can, with your arms up here so that you really get a feel for your obliques doing the work. You're going to bring your right knee to tabletop, get those lower abdominals activated to bring the left knee up. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop your knees to one side. So I'm going to bring them towards you, lifting my opposite hip. Now, the hands aren't moving here. They are straight up towards the ceiling. I'm trying to actively keep that right shoulder down. So I don't go too far. I want to get those lower abdominals activated, those obliques activated, and bring it back to the center. And then you'll switch to the other side. You'll be able to see my hip lift a little bit, but this left shoulder press down into the floor. Use those oblique muscles and lift back to the center. And then you can continue to move through that. I'm going to go ahead and leave my arms up there. But feel free at any point to lower them down. If they are lowered down onto the floor, I suggest your palm up and a very gentle press down, keeping that shoulder in there. We have a tendency to want to press our hands in and make that do the work. And if I let go of my hands here, I'm going to just drop all the way over to the floor if I go too far with my knees. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to get my oblique muscles to really connect. The serratus muscle is pulling down towards my hips. The scapula is stabilized, trying to keep them on the floor there. Try not to put any tension on the neck and the shoulders. And last one. And then go ahead and actively just let the arms relax down to the side of the body. We're going to go into those leg changes. So from here, tabletop position, you're going to lower the one leg down. I want you to think about your lower abdominals activating and exhale, lift back up. And then switch to the other leg. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Sometimes I even kind of put my hand right here on my lower abdominals, making sure they really get activated in there. One more. Now we're going to go into that leg changes. So we're going to lower the one leg down. As it comes back up, you're switching. So think of a little march. If your lower back is bothering you at all and you need a little lift, feel free to put your hands underneath your hips. That would give you a little bit of release of the tension that you might feel there. You can think about just tucking into imprint. See if I can get my rhythm going. I wasn't going very well there. I was trying to talk through making sure that you have your back where it needs to be. 2. 1 more. Pull those knees in. Give yourself a little hug. All right, we're going to do some chest lifts here. We can bring our knees to tabletop. Other option is you can leave them on the floor. So find what position you want to do that in today. I'm going to start on the floor and then I'm going to bring them up as we come, just to kind of start here. So we're going to clasp the hands together, bring them behind the head. Elbows are slightly up off the floor. Sometimes bringing them up and then just kind of dropping them down to a place that feels comfortable. Get the scapula where you need that to be. Your head is heavy into your hand. You're going to exhale and lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. And when you come up here, you're probably in an imprinted position, which is fine. Maybe lift yourself a little higher there. And then come back out to neutral if you didn't just stay there. And then inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So I brought my knees up to tabletop now, to joining everybody that's there. Let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. Now hold it here. And this is just a fun thing to do, is to hold this, finding where your body is and where it needs to be. Are you still in neutral with your lower back? Are your upper abdominals lifting your head, neck, and shoulders up and holding you up? Look at me, I can go a little bit further. Is the serratus and scapula stabilized? Now we're going to reach around and grab behind the legs and lift yourself a little higher. You may pull yourself into imprint here, but when you do, if you can come back out to neutral, please do that. Just challenge yourself where you need to go. Reach the arms long, then up towards the ceiling. Bring those arms back beside the ears. Clasp the hands together, bring them behind the head. Now we're going to take a little twist to the side. So just kind of like find a twist, thinking about your shoulder reaching towards that opposite hip. And then come back to the center. And switch and go the other direction. And back to the center. And then lower all the way down. Exhale, lift it up. And you can do this with your feet on the floor if that is helpful. Grab behind the legs, lift yourself a little higher, find neutral again. I always pull into that imprint when I lift, but I want to try to keep to neutral once I activate into this position. Reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, bringing them back beside the ears, clasp the hands together, bring them behind the head. And twist. And center. And center. And lower down. We're just going to do 1 more like that. Exhale, lift. Reach around, grab behind the legs, lift yourself a tiny bit higher. Find neutral. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Bring those arms back beside the ears. Clasp your hands together. Bring them behind your head and twist. And center. And twist. And center. And lower all the way down into that. Just going to go ahead and pull my knees into my chest for a moment. We're going to go into some leg circles. And I'm not going to use any props today just because I know most of us don't have them at home. But at any point, you can grab something. This would be one where you could grab the band. We're going to do our leg circles here. So you can put one foot onto a little stretchy band or a belt or even a towel. Find what works for you. And you're going to lower. Let me go ahead and lower my right leg. And I'm going to straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. It doesn't matter which leg you go into. I'm just doing the one that's closer to you right now.
So I want to start trying to keep that hip in a good neutral position here. And then if I can, I'm going to straighten this leg all the way down so I get a full circle out of this. I'm going to bring my arms out to a T position. I'm going to flex my foot if it feels comfortable. Any point, if you feel cramping in your foot, your calf or whatever, just kind of relax that foot. You're going to cross it over the center of the body and then circle down and around for 6. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Hold it there, reverse direction, out to the side, circle down and around, and circle. Hopefully your shoulders relax. I just had to relax mine because I just decided to do that. All right, hold that there. You're going to grab behind that leg, and I'm going to walk up my leg a little bit, just enough to kind of pull it in and get a nice stretch there. And maybe circle the ankle around a little bit. You can feel a lot of tightness there in my foot, in my shin. So the circling is helpful, but I've got to be really careful as it shoots nerve pain through my foot. So just find what works for you. And then lower that all the way down, and if you can, let that leg come in a little bit further in towards your chest. If that's not comfortable, feel free to bend and stretch. If you have that little stretchy band on your foot, you can stretch however you need to right now with that. It's my shaky leg. I don't know if you can see it, but it feels like it's shaking a lot right now. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cross the leg over for more into that IT band. Stretch, or you can bend and completely let yourself twist all the way over. So find what is helpful for you. My IT band doesn't necessarily love me when I do this. It's a good love. It's a good hate, I guess. It's really tight. All right, and then bring that leg back. Bring those knees in. Start with putting that leg we just worked on to the floor, stretching out the other leg up towards the ceiling, lengthening that out, hands to a T, cross the leg over the center, and find that circle for 6. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice articulation through the hip socket there. And switch. Circle the outside and back up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it at the top. Again, grab behind that leg. If it feels good and you can walk up that leg, feel free to do that. Keeping that stretch, maybe roll through that ankle a little bit. Maybe a flex and a point. This is where I'm really tight, is in that shin and the ankles and the feet. And then lower yourself down, and then if you'd like, you can cross it over for the IT band or maybe bend it and just take a stretch in the back. So find where you want to go with that stretch. Bring that leg back down, reach that leg out, reach the arms nice and long above the head. We're going to do some roll-ups here. Some of this might not be optional for you to roll up and down, so I'm going to kind of give you, the first time I'm going to give you an option of just going back part way instead of coming all the way back down on the floor. I know we're all started down here on the floor. Feel free to just come to a seated position if you cannot come up into that roll-up. So you're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling as you tuck the chin in through an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to round up up through that. Woo, I haven't done these for a while. Come all the way to the top. You're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to twist to one side. Reach back up to the ceiling. Twist to the other side. Reach back up. And you're going to roll all the way down if you can. If you cannot roll all the way down, I'm just going to start with your arms in the front. You're going to roll part way back. Get those abdominals engaged. Then round yourself back in. Stack the spine. Reach the arms back to the ceiling. And find that twist. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way down this time. So find where you want to go today. Find that reach above the head. Reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin in. Roll yourself back up. Shoulders over top of hips. Stack the spine to the ceiling. Find that twist. And reach. And twist. And reach and roll it all the way through or just part way down. And then nice and long through the spine. Arms back up. Tuck the chin in. Anchor those feet into the floor. Roll yourself back up. Stack the spine. And twist. And lift. And twist. And lift. Last one. Roll it all the way through. And reach those arms nice and long above the head. Reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin in. Anchor the feet into the floor. Roll yourself back up. Ooh, I had to use a little momentum there. Reach it up. And twist. And lift. And twist. And lift. And dive over those legs. So I'm going to do a little bit of rolling today. Again, if you have like osteoporosis or something that would cause you not to put any pressure on your spine or into that nice curve position, then this would probably not be for you. But I'm going to start with an option of just holding a balance pose. So if you're going to roll like a ball, we usually just grab a hold of your shin, the ankle somewhere in that area to pull the knee in, and then the other knee. And see how my feet are up off the floor. I'm trying to glue those together. And I'm a nice tight little ball. If you want, you can hold right here and do this. If you want, you can hold your legs underneath. My legs are separated slightly, and I'm just lengthening through the back, and then maybe a little C curve down. So this is option number one. And lift it up. And curl back down through that. Just enough where you feel like you can hold that balance. And lift. I'm going to do that one more time with you, or you could stay right here if you like. If you're going to roll like a ball, if you're going to bring your feet back together, you're going to curl in. I'm making sure I have enough room behind me to actually roll. And you're going to inhale, lower back, and exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. I'm going to squeeze in a little bit more with my hands connected a little bit more. Woo, missed that one. I feel like this feels really good on my back, but that's not the case for everybody. Not good for osteoporosis for sure. And if you have scoliosis, this may not be comfortable because you're not just rolling on your spine because you're a curvature there. And then just do that 2 more times. And last one. Now we're all going, oh, I made a little circle. We're all going to hold here. And then we're all going to grab behind our legs. And what I want you to do is see if you can challenge yourself to lengthen one leg out. This would be preparing for open leg rocker, which we're not going to go into. We're just going to take a little balance here. You could just stay right here if you want. Add the one leg open. Really feel like the length of the spine is helping you here too. So we're not curling into it here. We're lengthening it through. Now, if you would really like a challenge, you'll do both legs. And you're just holding it there for a nice little balance. And then you'll bring your feet together, lower down, and just come forward into that. Woo! Hopefully we're feeling well after that one. All right, we're going to do a little challenging of a bridge move today. So what I want you to do is lay back down on the floor with your feet down. Your hands down to your side. We're going to do one leg at a time moving. So this is a bit of a challenge here. If you just want to roll your spine up and down, that would be fine as well. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to roll through the spine, lifting the hips up. And then what I want you to do is take one leg into tabletop position, lengthen it up towards the ceiling, bend the knee, and lower the foot. Now switch to the other side. Bend the knee into table, lengthen the leg to the ceiling, maybe flex the foot, bend the knee back, lower the foot, and roll the spine back down. Do that one more time like that. Exhale, tuck in, round it up. Bring that first leg to table. Lengthen it to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Lower the foot. Other leg, bend. Lengthen. Back to table and lower. And roll that spine back down. And then just go ahead and pull those knees into your chest. Hopefully just a nice little challenge there for you of doing one leg at a time, but not holding it for too long of a period of time. Just as you build your strength up, get those hamstrings working a little bit more. All right. So from here, we're going to turn on to our side. We're going to do a little lifting, our nice little side lift. So arm underneath the head. I usually have my palm up. I'm not sure you can see my palm in the video. I'm going to try to get it in there. I usually have this hand just in the front, nice and long through the body. You can come into a little banana shape by bringing your feet forward if you need to. The idea is for your obliques to work, so lift those legs slightly up off the floor. Get those obliques activated, bottom and top. So feel like this is pulling up off the floor and you have a little pocket of air. Little mouse go underneath there. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 3 and 2 and 1 more, and then lower that all the way down. We're going to take this top leg, bring the foot in the front. You can place this anywhere on the floor where it's comfortable. Sometimes our hip flexors don't allow us to hold it here. I have occasionally put like a ball there to kind of support my leg. Again, no props, so I'm not doing that today. But feel free to put something, a pillow or something there, and let that leg just kind of relax. I'm able to hold it here, so I'm going to. We're going to take that bottom leg and lift it slightly up off the floor. And we're going to press up towards the ceiling using those adductor muscles. And then come back down. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do 3 more like that. And lower. And 2. And lower. We're going to hold this last one up and little pulse. 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 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you feel a nice little burn on that inner thigh there. All right, let's go ahead and bend this bottom knee in, lengthen that leg out. We're going to flex the foot just a little bit, just to kind of loosen it up, flex and point a couple times. Now, what I want you to do here is let the foot kind of be floppy and let the toes go down towards the floor, the heel slightly towards the ceiling, and then I want you to kick that foot forward till they're stacked, knee on knee, lift towards the ceiling, lower back down, and bring it back. And forward, lift, lower, and back. Forward, lift, lower, and back. We've got 2 more like that, and then we're going to do fun little drops here. I was working on this one the other day. I haven't done this one before. So this is what this one is. You're going to lift and lower, and you're going to hold here, and then you're going to do little, kind of like little pulses. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Again, let that foot just kind of drop down there. Feel that thigh working. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lower that down. Hopefully feel that outer thigh working a little bit. If you want a little figure 4 stretch, I'm bending this bottom knee in, pressing this leg out, just doing it on the side today. And then I'm going to come out of that, and then I'm going to switch to the other side, gracefully, of course. Those of you I work with often, we do everything gracefully, right? All right, so again, those legs can come to kind of that banana shape. I'm going to keep them straight out from my body just because I'm able to. I'm going to pull those abdominals together, finding those oblique muscles, and exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 3 and 2 and 1 more. Hold it up, hold it up, hold it up, and then slowly lower that down. You're going to take that top leg and bend the knee in. Again, you can put a ball underneath that if you'd like. That bottom leg is going to be lifted, and you're going to lift up towards the ceiling and lower and lift and lower and lift and lower. 3, 2, use that breath, use that exhale, hold, and little pulse, 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 pulse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that down, straighten that bottom leg out. Again, flex and point the toe at the top just for a moment. And then you're going to let that top leg, that foot kind of flop down, the toes towards your foot. And we're going to bring, oh, wait a minute, bottom knee bent first. Sorry, missed that part. You're going to bring that leg forward. You're going to lift and lower and back to the start. And forward. Lift and lower and back to the start. Forward. Let's do 3 more like that. And 2. 1 more, and this is the one where we're holding it here and little pulses up, down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower through that. Give yourself a little pat there. Alrighty, from here we're going to lay onto our bellies. And we're going to cross the hands over. I'm going to lay on down through here. If back extensions are not good, come up onto your hands and knees and do some cat-cow stretches or whatever, cat stretch into a flat back. Find something that works, and giving that back some movement here. So palm over palm, legs nice and long and strong behind you, and you're going to just lift your chest up off the floor. Your hands and your elbows are going to come with you, and then lower that down. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. 2 more. And last one. Now set yourself up. Tuck the tailbone down towards your heels. Lift the legs up and do a little back and forth with your legs like you're swimming. Pressing through that. We're just going to do a little bit of activation through that. And then we're going to reach the arms nice and long. I'm going to start with my hands on the floor. As my legs keep moving, I want to feel like I'm being stretched from one side of the room to the other. And then what I'm going to do is lift my arms up, and I'm going to circle them around. We're going to lift the chest up. Try to keep moving those legs. Clasp the hands behind our back. Lift the chest and keep moving. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that all the way down. Bring those hands to the side. And when you're ready, you're going to press yourself up and back into a rest position. I'm going to take my knees pretty wide. Let my belly kind of fall between my knees. My arms reaching out nice and long. That one got my heart rate up a little bit. It's funny how little movements can still do that as well. So bring your hands over to one side. And then back to the center. And then go to the other side. And then come back to the center. And then we're going to come to a seated position in the middle of our mat. Ooh, my hair went wild on me. Pull it back for a second. So you can sit here crisscross,
sit up on a chair, sit on a block, sit on something. If your hip flexors don't allow you to sit here well, we're going to go into mermaid. So I'm going to bring my feet out to the front, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both feet to one side. I would suggest mirroring me is probably the easiest way to do this, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to go to both sides as it is. So we're going to bring the hand down, and then we're going to reach up and over. Find a nice little twist. Reach the arm over the head and then come out. And then we'll just go to the other side. This is going to be a little more difficult because of the way our legs are bent here. And again, if this is difficult, just sit in a chair and twist back and forth. Reaching up and over and letting the arm drop. Sit on a bench, stool, something. Just make sure it's something that's solid and you won't fall off. I can only imagine a couple of my clients who would just fall off because they would get to giggling or something about it if it was a stool that wasn't very sturdy. I know most of you don't have all the equipment that I have in my little studio here, so I always think of my blocks and my boxes that I can pull out. But I always say, have a chair nearby. That's always good. All right, we're going to bring those feet out in the front and then switch to the other side. And it looks like things are starting to open up a little bit more for this pandemic. So hopefully we'll see in the next week or two if things have slowed down with this virus. And hopefully maybe someday soon we'll be back together in person. I know one of the first things I want to do is go see my parents when this gets to the point where we can get out and travel a little bit. And they're far away, but they're worth going to visit, so. Let's do one more to each side. So it's really 1.5 because we started on this side. So this is the last one. And reach back up out of that. All right, bring those feet back either out in the front. You can cross them. You can sit up in a chair. And we're going to end with our Judy here. So roll through the shoulders, bring the arm or the chest to the front. Circle around to the back like your cat stretching, and then come around to the other side. And just kind of move in that direction a couple times, and then we'll switch to the other direction. I know I've heard from several of you, and sounds like everybody seems to be keeping somewhat busy or finding things to do that I've talked to at least. And hopefully you're all staying safe and not getting too down. The thing I worry about the most is just that loneliness that can bring with a pandemic like this. So praying for each of you that you're able to find things to do. Hopefully this weather changing this weekend might help, and then switch and go the other direction. Again, welcome to anybody who I don't normally teach on a regular basis. So glad you've joined us and subscribed to my channel. This has been kind of fun for me to do, very out of the box for me. I like to do one-on-one and a face-to-face, but this has just proven to be something that I actually enjoy and have enjoyed trying. So thanks for bearing with me as I started this, and hopefully each week I can bring in a new video. Last one. And then sit up nice and tall, just like we did at the beginning, but we're going to use those arms. You're going to reach up towards the ceiling, clasp the hands, and take a little dive to the side. And back to the center, and other side. And back to the center, and exhale. And until we see each other again, or till I send out another video, hope you guys have a great weekend. This is Friday, May 1st. But you guys can watch this from now until eternity, and until I don't have a channel anymore. So anyways, but no, hopefully I can keep this going even as the Wellness Center opens back up, and hopefully my home Pilates studio will open back up for my clients that come here as well. Stay safe, and I love working with you guys. Have a great day. Bye.